Good afternoon. My name is James Markey, and I am a doctoral student at New Jersey City University in the Educational Technology Department. And today I'm going to go over the Pearson correlation coefficient. And I'm going to start by doing it in spss, and I'm also going to quickly show you how to calculate the score in Excel. But if you look at our two data sets here, we have the amount of time that 7th grade students spent on an adaptive learning tool for intervention and the grade level average. So we're looking for a correlation between the more time spent on the adaptive learning tool and a higher grade level average. So we're just going to compare the two and see, using the Pearson correlation, how strong that relationship is. So once I import my data, so you would go up here, and I imported my data already, but if you go to File, and then Import Data, and then you can go to the type of file that you have, and I did it from an Excel, and I went into Excel and onto my computer, and I downloaded my data. So what I can do now is, I'm going to start by going to Analyze, then I'm going to go to Correlate, and then I'm going to go over to Bivariate. And the reason I'm going over to Bivariate, if you think of the term, bivariate, bi meaning two, and variate, another term for variable, meaning two variables. So we're comparing two variables, or if you want to think of it in terms of relationship, because of X, I get Y, and how strong that relationship is. So I click on bivariate, and these were over here already from testing this before. So what I'm going to do is just bring them over just to show you. This is what it would look like. And then what we'll do is we'll just bring them over. One at a time, you click on your two variables and you're going to bring those over. We're calculating for Pearson. We're going to do a two-tailed test of significance because we want to test to see what the possibility of either a positive or a negative result. So we want to see the possibility of both. So that's why we're doing the two-tailed test. I'm going to click on OK. And then you're going to see it calculated our correlation here. You see that we have, again, this is the two asterisks mentioning that we have the two-tailed correlation, and that the significance level is at 0.001, which indicates a strong relationship between the two variables. And our Pearson is 0.90, also indicating the strong correlation between the two values. And again, if you see here, our N was 24. When we're doing a sample, we do want the sample size to be more than 10 to indicate that we're running the test properly and that we have an adequate sample size. So now what we want to do also is show the linear regression. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back here, and if we go to Graphs, and then we go to Legacy Dialogues, and then down to Scatter Dot, and click on that. We want a simple scatter plot, and then we are going to click on Define. Once we do that, again, if you look at your two variables here, you have to look at, again, because of X, I get Y. So my X value is going to be the adaptive learning tool, because the more time you spend, as we've been talking about, the more time you spend on the tool, the higher the grade level average is going to be. So that's our y-axis. So again, we're going to just click on these two here, and there is our scatter plot. And you should have 24 dots on your graph, because our N was 24. So we're representing everyone from the sample. And then what we can also do too is to show the line of regression. So what we'll do is we'll right click, and we're going to double click, and then what we're going to do is we can right click on the graph here, go down to Add Fit Line, and bring this up, and it's actually going to show us the line, and this is showing us a positive relationship between the two variables. So now if you want, and this is at a 95% confidence interval, you can see this in the data here. So what I would also like to do as well is just quickly bring up Excel And if you're calculating this from Excel, again, this is your data set here. And what we're going to do is, in your formulas, and then you go to More Functions, Statistical, and then it's going to have all these different tools that you can use. And we're looking for Pearson, so there's our Pearson, and we're going to click on that. So now you have your two arrays. So the first thing that we can do is, if you actually highlight your adaptive learning tool and then hold it down and just drag, it's going to set up your entire array for you. So it's B2 to B25. All right, and then if you go to B and do the same thing, now we're going to go to C, excuse me, and then you're going to hold that down and drag it all the way down. And then again, that's going to give you your two arrays and the information, and then we could actually see the correlation. So again, there's our number right there, and we're doing this to the nearest hundredth. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here again, go back to the home over here, and we're going to decrease the decimal value, and we're going to just bring this down. And there is our Pearson correlation. Our R is equal to 0.90, as we did calculate also with spss. And again, if we want to do a graph, we can highlight our information here, go to Insert, and then here's our scatter plots right here, and I want a scatter plot, and that's going to give us our chart right here, again, just like we did in spss. And what we can do is, if we actually click on the graph here, and then right click and add trend line, you have a graph as well with the linear regression, just like we did in spss. So this was just two options. We have our Pearson coefficient in Excel, and we also had our Pearson coefficient in spss, along with the significance and the information calculated to show us the significance of the two-tailed test, what our n value was, as well as the Pearson coefficient value. All right, thank you.